boys and girls. It was good to see some of you last Sunday, and I hope to get to see many more this Sunday. And don't forget to come to the church on Saturday, June the 6th, and get some donuts and see some of your teachers. This week, we're still studying Bible heroes, and we're going to continue to talk about those. And our story comes from Genesis 45, 1 through 15. It's about Joseph forgiving his brothers. Joseph had every reason to be hard-hearted toward his brothers. They had despised him and sold him into slavery. But years later, when Joseph encountered his brothers, he extended grace and forgiveness to them, in the process saving them from a severe famine. When we're willing to forgive like Joseph, we can be heroes too. Bottom line, like Joseph, big heroes are willing to forgive. Stay tuned for our weekly skit and a message from Brother Cam.
Big Hero Employment Agency, big job, small job, whatever the job, we've got the man for the job, or the woman for the job. We've got a lot of both. But no matter what the job, they always do the job. So what job do you need done? That's your cue, hun. Hello? Why does everyone always hang up?
Do we have any clients you haven't managed to scare away, Gladys?
Just the one. This is Allie.
Hi, Allie. I'm Miss Jones. Is there anything Big Hero Employment Agency can help you with today?
Yes, I need to hire someone.
Excellent. What do you need exactly?
It's my little brother.
Oh, I'm sorry, Allie. We don't sell little brothers.
No, I've already got a little brother, but I'm tired.
Did you want to trade him in for another model? That's not the kind of shenanigans we get involved with here at Big Hero Employment Agency. No, I'm not explaining myself very well.
No, you're not.
He's on my last nerve. He's always touching my stuff and annoying. I still don't see how we can help you with that. I want to hire someone to follow us around and write down everything he does. Every time he says something annoying or does something stupid, I want to record all of his mistakes so I can show him and my parents how terrible he really is. That certainly isn't our request, but I'm sure we'll find someone to do that. Gladys, may I see the available employee list?
What's this really about, Allie?
Don't know what you mean. Gladys, the list.
Something happened that got this ball rolling. What happened that got you so mad?
Poured water all over one of my favorite comic books. He did? Well, not really. I left it on the kitchen table and he set a wet cup on top of it.
I see. Do you know what you need?
Okay, just put him in.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness? How would that help me get a new comic book?
It won't, but it will help your relationship with your little brother.
It will?
Forgiveness helps you to let go of the resentment and bitterness you feel towards the other person, and it tears down the walls that keeps you apart and helps you see the good qualities in the other person.
So you mean like the times we actually have fun playing video games or exploring outside when none of my friends are around?
See what forgiveness can do?
Wow, forgiveness is great. Thanks.
And a whole lot cheaper than hiring someone to follow you around with a pen and pad of paper.
Another satisfied non-customer.
Hey everybody, welcome back this week to another Bible lesson on Bible heroes. But before we get started, I just kind of wanted to give a shout out to the actors and actresses that have been doing the skits every week. They've been doing a great job, and you know, they're doing them at home, and then when they get done, they send the videos to Miss Nita, and then Miss Nita sends it to Andrew, and then Andrew puts all of these skits and lessons and Miss Nita's promo that goes at the beginning, he puts all that stuff together. So now that we're kind of going back to church a little bit, if you see any of those people, make sure you thank them for what they do, and I'm sure they would really appreciate it. But anyway, back to the lesson. You know, for a few weeks we've been talking about some virtues that Bible heroes have. And you know, one of the virtues that we talked about was faith. And you know, so these people, they trust God and believe that He will work things out for the good of those who love Him. And then the next week we had a trait that we talked about. We were talking about great heroes and how they obey because they know that God has it all worked out ahead of time. And because of that, they are free to obey God with confidence. Well, this week we're going to be talking about the virtue of forgiveness. At one time or another, we've all been wronged by somebody, and sometimes someone that we don't even know. But at other times, it can be somebody very close to us. And so we have to ask ourselves, what do we do in those situations when somebody hurts our feelings? And the Bible character, the Bible hero we're going to be talking about today is Joseph. And, he had been mistreated by his brothers. He had 11 brothers, and one day they threw him in a well, and then they sold him into slavery. Then they lied to their father and told him that he was dead. And so y'all know the story. He got taken to Egypt, and one thing led to another. He spent some time in jail. He got out of jail. He ended up working for Pharaoh and did such a good job for working for Pharaoh that Pharaoh ended up, making him second in command only to Pharaoh himself. And so there was this famine in Egypt. They were running out of food and everything, and Joseph came up with the way to handle that situation. And so a lot of people were without food, but they found out that Egypt had food, so people started coming. Well, one day there was this group of people that showed up, and it was Joseph's brothers. The same ones that had thrown him in a well and sold him into slavery. So, I'm sure there were things that Joseph, he could have been mad or whatever, but we're going to find out today in today's story how Joseph handled that. So it comes out of Genesis chapter 45, and it goes from verse 1 to 15. And this is what it says. Joseph could stand it no longer. There were many people in the room, and he said to his attendants, "Out, all of you." So he was alone with his brothers when he told them who he was. Then he broke down and wept. He wept so loudly the Egyptians could hear him, and word of it quickly carried to Pharaoh's palace. "I am Joseph," he said to his brothers. "Is my father still alive?" But his brothers were speechless. They were stunned to realize that Joseph was standing there in front of them. "Please come closer," he said to them. So they came closer, and he said again, "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into slavery in Egypt. But don't be upset, and don't be angry with yourselves for selling me to this place. It was God who sent me here ahead of you to preserve your lives. This famine that has ravaged the land for 2 years will last 5 more years, and there will be neither plowing nor harvesting. God has sent me ahead of you to keep you and your families alive and to preserve many survivors. So it was God who sent me here, not you. And he is the one who made me an advisor to Pharaoh, the manager of his entire palace, and the governor of all Egypt. Now hurry back to my father and tell him, this is what your son Joseph said. God has made me master over all the land of Egypt, so come down to me immediately. You can live in the region of Goshen, where you can be near me with all your children and grandchildren, your flocks and herds, and everything you own. I will take care of you there, for there are still 5 years of famine ahead of us. Otherwise, you, your household, and all your animals will starve." Then Joseph added, "Look, you can see for yourselves, and so can my brother Benjamin, that I really am Joseph. Go tell my father of my honored position here in Egypt. Describe for him everything you have seen, and then bring my father here quickly." Weeping with joy, he embraced Benjamin, and Benjamin did the same. Then Joseph kissed each of his brothers and wept over them, and after they began talking freely with him. Joseph could have chosen not to forgive his brothers. He could have punished them because, like I said, he was second in command in Egypt. He could have done anything he wanted to do. He could have chosen to punish them for what they had done to him as a child. Joseph could have been bitter and resentful, but Joseph chose a better way, the heroic way. Joseph forgave his brothers. He wiped the slate clean. He treated them better than they deserved to be treated. That's the way God treats us. When we turn to Him and accept what Jesus did for us on the cross. Even though we have wronged God with our sin, He forgives us if we ask for it. He loves us and forgives us and puts us on the right path. You know, God, just like God has chosen to forgive us, He calls us to forgive other people. You know, that kid at school that's done pretty mean things to you, forgive him. Your brother, your sister accuses you of doing something you didn't do, forgive them. Your parents forget to come to your big game, the biggest game of the year, you got to forgive them too. If you don't, bitterness and resentment will take up inside your heart, and it'll push out all the love and compassion that you have. And those times when you do something wrong against someone, you should seek forgiveness. Go to God and ask Him for forgiveness, and go to the person, admit what you did, and seek their forgiveness as well. They may not always forgive you, but remember that God will. And the last thing is, it says, as we seek to be more like God, we will become people of greater love and compassion. We will become people who forgive abundantly. We'll be heroes just like Joseph was. Once again, that's all I have for this week. Like I said, remember to thank all the people that's been working every week to keep this stuff going out. And if you have any questions, you can either call me or Miss Nita, and now that we're kind of coming back to church, you can ask us on Sundays. So we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.